One fan base, one city, one team brings us all together. The Cleveland Browns. If you're a Browns fan, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Down with the Browns.
And welcome back to another episode of Down with the Browns. It is free agency, boys, and we have the greatest insider, the man who knows all. He knows everything going around the world, any transaction getting made. It is
for the
Noah
OBR
Weiskopf.
officially now, baby. For the
Yes,
OBR.
Yes, sir. Noah Weiskopf.
What's going on, guys?
What is up?
What's up? What's up?
So, boys, how are we feeling so far in free agency? It's been crazy around the league so far.
It's been insane. It's been insane. Rusty Wilson, right over there in Pittsburgh now for the 1 year, $1 million. Got him for a bag of Doritos and some sandwich from Primanti Brothers. So that I don't know.
Gotta love that.
Cheap.
Well, I mean, Denver, dude. They ate the $80 million they owed him, and it gave him 30. Or no, they ate 40 of the 80 or something. They gave him 38 million.
It's insane. Saquon on the Birds now in division. Don't care about any of that.
Brian Burns.
This is Brian Burns.
Dead to me. You're dead to
There's
me.
just so much. Noah also threw out a tweet. I saw your tweet, Noah, about Zadarius Smith and Mo Hurst. We got both of them, Noah. Both of them. How do you feel about that, Noah?
Yeah, they made that a priority, right? I mean, Zadarius was so he meant so much to this defense, and excuse me, his versatility to be able to line him up inside, outside, and pair him with Miles, that was a big deal for them. And to bring him back on a pretty team-friendly deal, I think it ranked somewhere between 27th and 30th among defensive ends. So to be able to bring him back on that deal, and then Mo Hurst, I mean. Unlucky for him, but I guess honestly lucky for the Browns with the injury. If he didn't get injured and kept playing him, he was balling. So he probably would have gotten a deal somewhere else. Ended up getting hurt and ultimately re-signed with the Browns. But he's another guy that loves Cleveland, loves the defense, and is a big locker room presence. So both of those were, big deals for the Browns to get back. No pun intended, but wanted to make sure those guys stick around for at least another year or two.
100%. Thank you so much, Drew. Yeah, no, it's been a great day. And I think so. What is it? Mo Hurst is it another year and then another 2 or 3 years for Zadarius, or what's that? What's the contractual stuff looking like for?
Yeah, it was a 1 year deal for Hurst, 2 years. I think 25,
23 and a half.
23. Yes.
Yeah, 23 and a half. Yeah.
Oh, let's
2
go.
years for him.
Let's go. That's so good to have that.
Which really is cheap. I mean, and the guy I think wasn't he leading, or he was the 11th overall in pass rush win rate, which is just, I mean, to get a pass rusher, I guess within the top 15, right under 12 million a year is pretty good.
Yeah. So, I know I was just expecting us to just sign everybody. Like, I know we only have $10 in the bank account right now. But I was expecting us to ration it out and get Christian Wilkins, DeAndre Swift. I said Sweat, even though I don't know who that is. Just a bunch of guys. I was expecting us to at least get one decently sized name. I see that we still have there's some guys to choose from at defensive tackle and stuff. But no, is there anybody that we're kind of tied to right now that's not being put out as much,
I don't think so as of now. I know that there's just a bunch of guys. I know they're pretty active in the D tackle market. We'll see who they end up with, but they want that other guy to pair with Dalvin Tomlinson. And I think that they're in on some running backs too. I've heard, obviously I talked a little bit about the Zach Moss thing. And then I know that for sure there was another running back that signed today. They were in on a little bit. And then there were some other guys that just overall, right, you want another running back. And I don't know when Nick's going to be available and ready to go. So if that takes, through the first month or two of the season, you want another guy that's going to be able to go in there and step in. They like Ford a lot, but, also want another proven guy that can go in there.
Yeah, for sure. I saw where the Packers made a certain running back available that Zach has mentioned a few times.
Talk to me.
I've been tweeting it for 6 months now. I mean, ever since, like I've been saying, if Nick Chubb goes down, one of the guys that could be released, they've been saying it all season, was Aaron Jones. He was released today. They picked up Josh Jacobs. Aaron Jones is the perfect, partner for a guy like Nick Chubb. Catches great out of the backfield, throw him in different areas, and he's perfect to have as our number one until Chubb comes back, period, and have Jerome Ford run that, the number 2 back. But the question is, how much is Aaron Jones' market value, and is it something we can afford?
I mean, why not? I mean, Andrew Berry can just open up cap like it's nothing. Open it up like it's a jar of peanuts or something.
Open up that checkbook. Open up that checkbook.
The Brinks truck.
But could we? I mean, see, here's the problem though, because I remember last year we were talking about the wide receivers, and I like my wide receivers, right? I mean, Jerry Jeudy, it was kind of like a little bit of a little taste, like a little appetizer from Applebee's. Jerry Jeudy was, and I want more. I do want more. But so now I'm dabbling. I'm getting my little big toe wet in the pool a little bit. I'll start with the big toe, but in the running back room, I'm really interested. Is it too hard or too outside of the realm of possibility for a Derrick Henry? No.
Yeah, I don't think that is going to happen with the Henry stuff.
And he says it so like a teacher would say. I said 2 + 2 is 5. He's like, no.
If they're going to get a running back, it's going to be a guy in a 1-year deal for cheap, right? And that's what was going on with the Zach Moss stuff. And what I had heard, what I was told was that Moss has a handful of teams that are interested in on him, but the Browns aren't willing to give him much more than a 1-year, very, very cheap deal. And of course, you can't blame the guy for not wanting to take that, right? You want to try to get him especially as a running back. You want to try to get a multi-year deal. He's a really talented kid, so we'll see if another team. I know that the Patriots were in on him and ended up getting Antonio Gibson instead. So we're gonna wait. Just have to wait and see on that one.
I was excited about Austin Eckler, the possibility of Austin Eckler, obviously, but then Austin Eckler got swooped up. That's unfortunate because I thought to myself, I'm like, man, he's gonna get, I think he's engaged soon, gonna try to make a life for himself somewhere, want to settle down. So I was like, settle down in the town, and I was like, we're coming to Cleveland, bro. I mean, you had a trash little last year with LA, so why don't you bring your talents to Cleveland? But unfortunately, I think it was the Commanders who took him.
Yeah,
I can't tell you for sure that the Browns were not interested in him, though.
So finally, something that I say. Andrew Berry's listening to me, bro. I was sending him little fortune cookie, little notes over there, right to Maria, and finally he opened one up and say, "Finally, Manny, finally."
The Browns were looking pretty much at a lot of running backs in that almost second wave of guys that weren't going to make as much as the Jacobs, the Saquons, right? And just seeing, they're looking at everyone, right, to see who they can get on that cheaper type deal. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't just, the Zach Moss. There were a couple other guys thrown in there too.
Yeah. So Eric brought up a good player that is still free agent.
Manny's frozen because he just got disconnected. But God, that face is just screenshot.
Oh yeah, dude. Somebody screenshot that and post it, please.
That's great.
Yeah, that's iconic. But Patrick Queen, I mean, that would be solid next to JOK.
He signed with Seahawks, right?
No, that was Jalen. Or did he?
Patrick Queen, yeah.
It was a fake. I think it was.
Oh, it was a fake.
Oh, you got.
Well, no, I saw two Twitters that said it, but I don't know.
I don't think he signed anywhere, but I wouldn't anticipate. I think he's going to get a pretty nice payday there. But Seattle does make a lot of sense. So, and the Browns are going to extend JOK at some point. So, really, you can't pay 2 linebackers like that.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean there's another linebacker. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
He'll probably be back. I imagine Sione is going to be back at some point. Browns like him a lot, and they feel comfortable with him playing at one of their linebacker spots. So I would be surprised if he didn't return.
Got you. Somebody else mentioned. Let me find it. They had mentioned Chase Young. I'm not so for sure we'll get another edge because of Za'Darius. But I do think maybe a defensive tackle. I think I saw you report earlier that they might be in on DJ Reader. Is that still going on?
Yeah,
Maybe?
they definitely have interest. I just don't know if they're going to be. I don't know if they're at the top of the list as of now. I guess I can sort of keep it at that. I know there's a good amount of teams that are in on him,
Uh-huh.
and from what I've seen, I don't think the Browns are one of the top as of now. That again could change, but I think there's a couple other teams that have a little bit stronger of an interest right now.
That's
But I
true.
think that, there's also a guy that has been floated around a little bit. Is Sheldon Rankins could be a possibility there too.
Heck yeah. Oh, Blake just sent me the screenshot of Manny. That is elite. Yep, that's going to be my new profile picture on Twitter. That's happening.
Oh,
So, Blake,
Yes,
free agency
sir.
started. Who do you think, or who do you want to see the Browns maybe take a shot at?
Definitely Zach Moss. I mean, even if it's just a 2-year deal, wouldn't mind being behind Chubb for 2 years. And then I like Eric Armstead a lot. I really like him. There's another guy, I can't remember his name, but I really want Eric Armstead, DJ Reader. We need some D linemen, dude. D linemen, we got to beef up the D line. Miles Garrett needs all the help he can get.
For sure. Well, okay, that somebody made a tweet and I just saw the little alarm things and I thought we got somebody. I was about to get excited. But so let's discuss this Jerry Jeudy trade a little bit. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the Browns have been rumored for him for like 3 years now. Last year it was rumored like a first round pick or second round pick and like Greg Newsome. But now we get him for a fifth and a sixth. So Noah, why was it easier to get him this year than it was last year?
Yeah, well, first of all, my understanding is that it wasn't actually that much of an asking price last year. I think that was kind of not realistic. It obviously went down to this point that what they just got him for, but I also do not think it was a second round pick because no team in reality would have given that up for a guy like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Broncos, almost are in a rebuilding phase, right? Like there's no real reason for them to hang on to a guy like that to see if he can break out when you, first of all, don't know who's going to necessarily throw him the ball, A, and B, you're going to have to pay him after a year. So you might as well get something at that point. And that's, honestly, I'll tell you guys this too. When you mentioned Newsome throwing around in a trade talk like that, I don't think it'll be for a player, but I do think that the Greg Newsome stuff is real. I don't know if anything's imminent. I don't think anything is imminent. The Browns are in no real hurry for that, but you have to think about it logically. Is they're paying Denzel Ward, they're going to pay Emerson when it's his time, and you can't pay 3 starting corners that top money. So, another team is probably going to end up, giving him a lot of money, and we'll see if they end up moving him this offseason at the deadline or let him play out his time in Cleveland and try to make a run at the whole thing and just let him walk.
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it a few times on here that I think that they will trade him. It's like you said, you're not going to pay 3 corners and you're going to have to pay JOK. Like out of that draft class, JOK is the guy that you really hit on. Like, I mean, I'm not slacking on Newsome, but JOK is going to be an all-pro, perennial, just all-pro guy. Like, he's going to be that dude in the linebacking core.
Mitchell's good.
Yeah, Cam Mitchell's pretty solid.
That too, right.
And AB can hit on his corners, like when he's drafting. So, like, I wouldn't put it past him to draft a corner this year, like earlier than normal, because
it would just be hard for the rookie to see the field. Because if you're going to have Newsome and then you have those 2 outside guys, it's, to develop a younger, higher draft pick corner, it's going to be hard. It's kind of, the receiver room, right? Like, I know people still want to sign receivers. Fans still want receivers, but Jacoby Brissett is heading to New England, by the way. So I think that probably means that Flacco will be back.
Cool.
what was I saying? Yeah, so the receiver, right? People still want receivers, sign more receivers, even with the Judy stuff. But at that point, everyone's talking about, Cedric Tillman, they still got him, right? But those guys got to see the field to develop. And so if you continue to stack that room, I mean, you're not gonna be able to develop those guys. And even a David Bell had, a great second half of the year last year. You won't be able to see guys like that on the field during the regular season if you continue bringing guys.
Breaking news.
Jacoby Brissett. New England Patriot.
No. Come on, Mike.
Dude, it just popped up on my phone. I had like 10 notifications. I must have had zoned out or something.
Yeah.
Probably.
It literally was a minute ago.
No, you're good. I do it all the time.
Brain fart.
Yeah, you're good. But like you said, so I mean, Joe Flacco most likely back now, because was that the only?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably give it like a 90-ish% chance that he's back.
Solid.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't like that though.
I like it. It's a great. If there's one guy that knows how to play AFC football and AFC North football, it's Joe Flacco, and to have him sitting there to kind of, be in Deshaun's ear, that's the guy I want. I mean, I love Jacoby. Don't get me wrong. Like I love Jacoby Brissett. Like he really won over a lot of us. But to have a guy like Joe Flacco who just he knows how to run this offense and he knows how to just play in the AFC North. I mean, it is a cold, physical division, and Deshaun's got to learn, I think, and I think that's part of what it was last year, is that this isn't the AFC South, or this isn't this
you got to have that dog
thing, right? You're gonna get hit, and he got hit a couple times where you saw him roughed up, and then the shoulder, and then the ankle, and I think we need a guy like Flacco to be like, dude, I'm all for you, scrambling for the first down, but if you're close, slide. I don't want you, I don't want you trying to extend something if you don't have to in that moment. Those types of things where he's just got to learn to, we need to weather the storm.
Oh, breaking news, straight from the actual person. I'm dumb per sources, Blake McCoy. That was just tweeted.
Yep.
So breaking news on that.
Yep.
You're good.
Here's the thing with Flacco. Just like Mike Florio said, as soon as Deshaun Watson throws a pick, bad pass, here it comes. Flacco. Like, it's going to happen. It's going to cause too much shit. Literally too much stuff.
I don't think it's going to cause anything, though, because, think about all this crap that Deshaun's gone through already with, having to hear every stadium, even some of his home fans, boo the guy every time he walks on the field, every time he gets the ball. If this guy's getting upset because he throws a pick and Flacco's being chanted, he's not the right guy for this team anywais.
Well,
and I don't think
really him.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Upset.
It's just like the around. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's the fans.
Like the locker room.
Oh yeah, that too. I can understand that.
Here's my thought on it, because I was on that side with you, Blake. But the more I've thought about it, I think it's going to push Watson to be better, because he'll have that in the back of his head. He'll be like,
it should.
Okay, yeah.
He'll have that in the back of his head. It divide the locker room? That's what I'm scared of.
No, I don't think that it's going to divide anything. I mean, think about it. Flacco didn't even think he was going to play last year. He's he's a guy that I think, long term could be a coach, could be an offensive coordinator, could be a guy that is in that room. So what better than to have that opportunity to come in and kind of be like that QB coach that's still a player and kind of be in someone's ear in that way. And if you need to go in for a game or two because Deshaun's, nursing a, messed up back or some, God forbid, I'm just saying, is you have a guy that you can lean on that can do the same things and still have the ability to, throw the long ball and make a splash.
You look like you got something, Noah.
No,
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I'm just
I'm-
working on
Another D lineman off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leonard Williams re-signing with Seattle. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good move. And like the trade that the Giants made with him during the season, trading him to the Seahawks, getting that second round pick, and then them turning that into Brian Burns.
Yeah.
That's some maneuvering right there because Brian Burns is a dog. Like when he gets like an actual like media crew actually following this dude, like he's going to be touted as a top like 3 defensive end
Mm.
because
I mean,
he's
he's
a dog.
definitely got the potential for sure. Oh yeah.
I mean, he was wrecking people in Carolina.
And then I saw Carlton Davis. Did he sign with Detroit?
Trade.
Did I just see that or traded? Yeah.
Yeah, he was traded. So Noah, is there anybody that you've heard like even regardless of like a certain position that the Browns are kind of like in on? I know I mentioned defensive tackles earlier, but like just any like thing that we wouldn't think of.
I mean, I don't, D tackle and running back are the 2 positions that the Browns have been most, at least from what I've heard, most interested in as up to this point. I think that you could see a linebacker potentially signing as a depth move after the expected re-signing of Taki. I think that you could see, one of those guys going to Cleveland, whether that's like Josie Jewell from the Broncos is available. I think Jerome Baker is still out there, so I could see them signing one of those depth guys. But yeah, I think D tackle is their first priority and getting one of those guys, and then running back too.
Solid,
What do you
solid.
think? Or maybe you would know, Noah, more about this. I mean, you probably would. But anything about our special teams? James Prochet, is he back? Do we have anything on our return? Returners, our situation that we've been just trying to get through for the past however
Corey
long.
Bojorquez?
That's a good question. I imagine they'll eventually re-sign Corey. But in terms of returner, I don't know for sure if they've talked to anyone in that for that type of role. I know Jakeem is a free agent. I think it'll be interesting to see if he's recovering well, if the Browns are still interested in having him give it a go. I know that it's been super unfortunate for him, but he signed that 3-year, what was it, $18 million deal or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, they had a lot of hope for him coming in, and they wanted to play him at obviously returner, and then they wanted to get him involved in the offense too. They wanted him to play slot receiver. They wanted to get him the ball in any way they could because of how explosive he is. So we'll see. I know he's recovering well. I actually might be writing another story on him, talking to him soon, Jakeem, to see how he's doing. So from what I've heard, he's rehabbing well, and I think that could be a possibility. I know they like Prochet and what he gave them in the punt game last year, return game. So we'll see what those 2 guys. But other than that, I think they'll probably look externally for a gunner type player that they just lost in Mike Ford. I think that, they really value that, and those guys are important on special teams. So there's a lot around the league that are really good at what they do in that specific role. So we'll see if they end up bringing one of them in on a small 1 to 2 year deal.
Yeah, that'd be solid. Manny, while you were away, were you cooking anything in the crock pot? That's what the sources were telling me that happened. It wasn't that you froze. I think
you're muted.
Yeah. No, nothing.
Nothing.
He's still cooking. He's still cooking. He's got the mashed potatoes. He's got them on the.
Just use facial expressions to express how you feel.
Do you know sign language?
What you're trying to say.
General business.
Oh, Blake with the sign language.
I took 2 semesters of it.
Oh, okay. Okay, big dog.
I took a half a semester of it, and then I was like, nah, I'm good. I can't figure this stuff out.
I can barely speak American. Let's just be real.
In English?
It's American.
Joe Flacco.
Oh,
no Joe Flacco? You don't want Joe Flacco?
No Joe Flacco.
Why? Let's see.
Why?
Unmute yourself.
Reset your Yeti.
Yeah, just hop out and then come back in. Let's try it one more time. It's got to be your mock. It ain't gonna be.
Leaves and you just kick him out and
Yeah.
can't get back in.
But so like in the recruiting process of getting these free agents, what do you think like AB like when he's talking to these guys? What do you think he like brings to the table with them? He's like, come look at this beautiful skyline, look at the lake, come down here and fish. Is it like, what do you think? How do you think he approaches like these free agents?
Well, I'll talk about defense first. It's a pretty easy draw, to be honest with you. All the talent on that defense and being led by Jim Schwartz is really appealing to a lot of different players. And I think that's why that they're able to be in the markets that they are for some of these defensive guys is Jim Schwartz has been there. He's won at a high level. He's won a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator. You saw what he did to the Browns defense last year. And to be able to play on the same, side of the ball as a Myles Garrett, a Denzel Ward, a Grant Delpit, a Dalvin Tomlinson, a Zadarius Smith. I mean, JOK, there's some real talent on the defense. And for guys to be able to come in here and try to carve out a role for themselves and even, pass rushers, defensive linemen in general, they're really able to, open themselves up and really get to the quarterback in his type of scheme. So that's a really easy sell is Jim Schwartz. And offensively, you got a bunch of star power, right? And you just got to put it all together. And, players love Deshaun Watson and they love his ability. They know what he's capable of. So I don't think that they really have many problems trying to draw players to Cleveland because they're a contender, right? Like they're looking to make a push at the Super Bowl. And that's really what a lot of, just players want in general is to be able to have a good defense, a good organization, a good offense, and give it your best shot to go all the way.
Yeah. So the word on the street, that was the dream. But the word on the street is that they recruit these guys and say that they got why do I got balloons going on? Did you guys see that? What was that?
Awesome.
Birthday?
No, buddy, my birthday's like near Thanksgiving. That was pretty cool. I was getting scared, buddy. I thought Russia got me.
How that is, I don't know what happened, but that was sweet.
Yeah,
somebody do that.
I don't know. I got magical powers.
Oh, you can do like a virtual background.
That's crazy. Anyways, but I heard they get them with the pierogies. You think that's like the signing bonus? They throw that in there like a pierogi.
First I've heard of it.
First you've heard of it. That's what Manny said.
Unmute yourself, Manny.
Go to your audio.
Yes,
sir. He's back.
Hey, let's go.
Sources say he's back.
I thought they want me to speak the truth this evening.
Yeah.
Nah,
So
Denzel Ward was hitting you off, dude, keeping you offline.
Listen.
Keeping you locked.
Did we talk about Denzel Ward yet?
He's locking you up, dude.
Yeah. So Noah, Manny now hates Denzel Ward. Like he hates him.
Listen.
It's on his poop list.
Denzel emergency room ward. Listen, Noah, I'm not going to get you in trouble. I promise. All right. I just need to ask you a question. If I wanted to get Denzel Ward off this team, what do you think he would go for, roughly?
I don't think that you'll have any success trying to get him off of the team.
That's oh, bro!
I can't stand in front of Ron Ward, bro. All right,
we're clipping that and sending it.
How many games did he play last year? Let me ask you this.
I think 13 or 14.
Subtract 10 is what it feels like. All right, you know what? Look. I'll be serious. Okay. Denzel Ward is a great nickname for the warden and all that stuff, locking people up. Fantastic. But can I get some playing time out of him? Can I get some playing time?
So the most he ever played was 2021, and that was 15 games. He played 14 2 years ago, 13 last year, and he sat out the last game. So
riddle me this, Batman. Does Denzel Ward, he has not played a full season in a Browns uniform yet?
No.
See, and I'm the one that's getting cooked on Twitter when I bring this stuff up. When I bring it into light, I'm the one that's getting in trouble.
Because
but listen, here's what
it's when
because
he's on
a
the
corner.
Yeah, right. True, and I'll give him that. I did want to address the Joe Flacco thing really quickly because I did hear you say there was a 90% chance he's coming back. Here's how I feel about Joe Flacco. Okay, we're talking 60% completion rating, right? 13 touchdowns. I think it's 8 or 9 interceptions. He was great for what he was coming off the couch. He was real nice for Browns fans. We love that. It was great, right? The interceptions, though, Noah, you know what I mean? Am I supposed to just not act like those exist, though? You know what I mean? I mean, every time I'm like, nice throw, Joe. And then the next one, it's like, why are you even throwing it over there? You know,
but he's not starting.
Yeah, and I get that. But here's the problem. There's a small section, right? You know what I mean? A small little section of this. You know how Pluto is the smallest planet in the solar system? Or if
Not
it's even a planet anymore. It's a
planet.
small little section of Brown's Twitter. When you have Joseph Jose Flacco on your roster, there's a small little sect that'll say, well, he should be starting. Anytime Deshaun drops back and breathes wrong, needs an inhaler or something, they're like, Joe doesn't need an inhaler. I don't want that on my team. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? That's the problem that I'm having. If you brought back DTR, obviously he's on a rookie deal, so you can bring him back. But you bring a guy like DTR in, or you bring in a Jacoby Brissett, you will know right ahead 100% it's Deshaun's team. But now you're bringing Wacko for Flacco, right?
Yeah,
You bring in Wacko for Flacco back. It's like bringing Baker. Imagine you brought Baker Mayfield back. Well, you can't bring him back now.
Well, that's a totally different story. But I said this to Blake because Blake said the exact same thing. And I mean, I get it to a point, but when has Andrew Berry let the small, just crazy part of Twitter or the internet dictate his moves and how he runs his team and how he does those things?
Not very frequently, because his wife made it very clear. She said, don't tweet me. Don't talk to me about my husband. I don't want to. So I don't tweet anything. I just say, congratulations, Andrew. We love Andrew. That's what I say.
Well,
we got a linebacker.
Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks.
I'm not. You know what? It's crazy. I'm not going to even act like I know who Jordan Hicks is. So
because you only watch wide receivers.
Because I only watch. Look. I'm a man. I listen. If I like what I like. Okay, I like my wide receivers. Can somebody explain to me who Jordan Hicks is? Where's he from? Noah, I don't know if you want to take this, because I really have no idea who Jordan Hicks
was. He drafted by the Cardinals?
Is he Akeem Hicks' brother or something?
Vikings.
Wasn't he drafted by the Cardinals, then traded to the Vikings, right?
That does sound right. Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
Is he?
All right, I suck at multitasking.
He play.
No, that's totally okay. We're gonna give you some time. Wait, is he on the line though, Jordan? How old is
he? He's an actual linebacker. He's like a middle linebacker.
Oh, to replace Anthony Walker, who went to Miami, right?
He's pretty solid. He played a little. I think he played with the Eagles too. I want to say.
Oh, 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah, I want to say he played with the Eagles during the Super Bowl run.
Let me look.
You know, it's crazy when you Google Jordan Hicks and the first thing that comes up is a baseball player.
Yeah,
not even him. I'm not trying to listen. He's on the Browns, so I love him. He's on the Browns now, so I love him.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
Oh, his career. It's here. Let me. All right, let's look at his career stats.
Yeah, he's a decent linebacker. A good, from what I remember, he's a decent in
Eagles, Cardinals.
linebacker.
Yeah, Eagles, Cardinals, Vikings. He's a vet, you know.
And truthfully, if Questy likes him over there in Minnesota, then I like him too, because I feel like they're very good at examining defensive talent. So again, anything to keep bolstering this defensive room, especially the linebacker situation. I don't know what that does with Taki though, because
different position.
Well, he plays. He plays middle.
He plays all middle. Jordan
only
plays middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
The way
he took
61 solo tackles,
he took,
1 sack,
he took
1 forced fumble, 1 interception.
I'll tell you guys, the Browns are planning on bringing him back. I think.
Who?
Walker?
Taki. I think that he'll.
Good.
He's really
Taki. I like him.
Really become great at that outside. Or I don't remember if he plays Will or if he plays the Sam.
When Anthony Walker went out, I felt like he benefited the most from him being out, although he didn't play middle linebacker primarily. I just felt like he really came into his own, because I was really worried, right? I was really worried about that injury, and then Taki really exploded.
Well, I mean, I remember somebody was talking about how, like, because that game where Walker went out, and then the next game, I remember somebody was like, we can't stop the run. And I remember responding saying, that's what Anthony Walker is so good at. He's so good at anticipating the run and getting everybody else to just totally stack up and just become a wall. But when you take that out, it takes a little bit to, figure it out.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good signing.
You're muted, Manny.
Let me check when he was with the Eagles.
What's up, Bird? Sorry. Who you with? I'm just screaming into the mic and I was muted. That's the most awkward thing, bro. I try to mute myself because asthmatic and I'm breathing all heavy into the mic. But I think one of the things that I'm looking for as well is there's some people who really want wide receivers, some more wide receiver help. I cannot confirm or deny. But
all right, hold on. I got a question for everybody then. Hold up.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So now that we kind of have, I guess, all but tied up a bow for the wide receiver position, and we've kind of already talked about some of the free agency needs that are going to happen or are going to be looked at, defensive tackle, potentially linebacker, which just happened, and then, a running back. Now that we kind of have a better idea of what's going on, what does that change at who we're going to take in the draft? Or are we even taking somebody at our pick? Or are we just trading that, using it as trade bait?
What pick do we have right now?
Is it 50 something?
55.
We have 55. Okay,
55.
so that's a second. That's a second rounder. Okay.
Yeah.
So well, I still think that we should pick. Obviously, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the first person to go right now. But
tackle.
We could pick a tackle, but aren't I think we're bringing Jed back though right now. I think Jed Will's back. I'm pretty sure he's back next year. So if that's the case, it depends what we do with DeJuan Jones. Obviously, like if he's just going to stay at right tackle and we're not going to move him over to left tackle, and Jack Conklin's not going to be back at right tackle. Depends on what that happens. But like, I think we should get a wide receiver. And the reason I'm saying that, no, and I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm 100%.
You sound like a kid at the grocery store. It's like, I know we should be getting all the food for us to eat for 3 weeks, but look at this new set of Legos. Why don't we get the Legos?
Let's buy the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Well, fine. The responsible choice would probably be a tackle, but I think we if a good wide receiver falls to us, I don't see why we shouldn't take one, because Amari might not be back after next season. So, but I'll let Noah go. I'll let the professional.
Hold on. Even if Amari's not back, you have Cedric Tillman, you have David Bell, you have other guys who've been drafted over the past 3-4 years.
So you are going to flirt with me with Cedric Tillman and a name like David Bell? Is that what you're flirting with me with?
You're going to
the guy who loves wide receivers, and you
keep saying let's draft wide receivers. This is who we draft.
Sure.
So do you want to keep drafting wide receivers?
Sure. Sure. Would rather get something right.
See, this class is stacked, though.
This class is stacked.
This class is stacked.
I mean, I don't understand.
See, that's nasty, Zach.
But we were talking about this earlier, is that, and Noah said this, and I totally agree, is that in order for these wide receivers that we have drafted, Tillman, Bell, and all these quote unquote ceilings that they have, and the things that people were saying when they were coming out of the combine, they have to play. And if we keep drafting second round pick for a wide receiver, keep doing these types of things, then what are those guys doing? Because if Amari goes, or we say goodbye to Amari after this year or next year, whatever it has to be, who's playing? Is it Tillman? Is it Bell? Is it the guy that we drafted this year? Because all three of those guys are going to be like, well, Bell's had the most in-game experience, so he's going to go, but he still hasn't had enough. He's played small, roles in the offense. So we got to it's almost like you have to, we've already drafted enough wide receivers. Let's see what we have. And then you go forward.
I've got two things for you guys. Then I'm going to one, receiver wise in the draft. is interesting because I usually use the Eagles as an example to compare to the Browns. Is the Eagles had a really tough time hitting on receivers, first rounders, second round guys. They took Jalen Reagor a pick after Justin Jefferson or before Justin Jefferson. And, they could never hit on that wide receiver. And that's what they needed. They needed a wide receiver. And you know what? Howie Roseman said, you guys are right. I can't draft a wide receiver for the life of me. Here, take my first round pick. I draft A.J. Brown and we'll pay him. That's what they did. They got A.J. Brown. And so if the Browns really want to ensure they're hitting on a receiver, you trade your pick and then extend one of those wide receivers is what you do. Right now, right? You're looking at a T. Higgins. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's not. But just in general, that's the same example, right? Is if you can't draft a wide receiver, trade your pick, trade for a wide receiver that's proven and extend him. That's the two sides of that. However,
Maybe you're gonna trade that pick. Trade it,
Bro, did you just hit helium?
So that's for the wide receiver side of things. And I'll tell you guys, so Jordan Hicks last year was ranked PFF 22nd among all linebackers and also has the connection, played with Jim Schwartz in Philadelphia. So that sort of connection, Jim Schwartz obviously likes him, and he'll come in and be a rotational linebacker. But I'll leave you guys with that.
Sweet. Awesome.
Bro.
No,
Thanks,
thank you. So I know, I knew it. You bring me down sometimes, but you lift me back up right before you go. And I thank you. I thank you.
And I don't mean to do it again. I don't mean to bring you back down again, but they're not trading for T. Higgins.
No, can you just leave it? No, bro. I wrote it on a piece of paper.
Bro, Manny and Noah's like that meme, like of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi standing at a distance. It's like Manny getting all hyped as Obi-Wan, Darth Vader's Noah bringing him back down to earth.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on, brother. Have a good one.
I need myself some tea. Okay,
but on a real note, so
Justin Fields.
Who was it that said that earlier?
You said what?
Dude,
Somebody
there's been
said
people
Justin
all
Fields.
over on Twitter saying Justin Fields to the Browns, yada yada yada. It's not happening.
It's
not
a small
happening.
little area. It's a small little area of Browns fans that just create havoc, right? It's that Heath Ledger Joker, just want to watch the world burn, kind of like, they just want to Justin Fields, Brown. You know what I mean? I just.
But where is he going though?
I think he's going to go to Oakland.
Seattle.
No, Oakland just got
Seattle.
no. Gardner, they just got Gardner Minshew.
Minshew Mania?
You bro. Minshew is cooking.
Oh,
Minshew
bro,
is cooking. Are you kidding me?
Listen. Minshew with that mustache and that mullet.
In
He's gonna
Las
have
Vegas?
He's gonna have the 80s like flowery button-up t-shirt. He's gonna have it tucked into some white pants with some cowboy boots on, and he's gonna be hitting them slots like crazy.
I'm telling you.
No, dude. They were already saying they said that it was the teams that were looking at for him were Oakland.
Whoa. Sion Taki just went to the Patriots.
No, Taki just went to the Patriots. That's why Noah had to
the
leave,
fuck?
bro. That's why Noah had to leave, bro.
That's
knew
good.
it.
He didn't want to break us the news.
That's probably why they signed Jordan Hicks.
That hurts.
It makes sense now.
That team
That
is so
hurts.
ass. Oh my god.
He probably got paid. Got
had
paid.
to have.
Congratulations,
Or-
man. He has a beautiful
it's a
family.
It's a positional thing. Like Manny was saying, if he was playing the middle linebacker position, that's what he wants to play. I mean, maybe that's where they want him to play in New England. I don't know, but
Yeah.
That's
other guys are out there.
how much
Jerome
does that
Baker.
open up?
Yeah,
Do what?
Jerome Baker it could be interesting. I mean, there's a bunch of other.
Dude, the Jerome Baker
Junior
one's-
Colson in the draft.
He's more of a middle linebacker though, which you could kind of groom him underneath Jordan Hicks and let him.
Outside.
Does he play on the outside?
He's fast. You can definitely put him on the outside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, AB. I feel like AB just slept in this morning. He wasn't used to that time change. He slept in. He waited. He woke up about 4 p.m. That's when he decided to call Z Moher, say, "Hey, let's get this done."
Did they say where Taki how much he went for?
Not yet. They've not
Not
released
yet.
that yet. But
Man, oh man.
Damn, dude.
Man, that
That
was not
sucks.
good.
but I mean, at least it wasn't like I hate to say it, but at least it wasn't like a humongous rolled player. I mean, it hurts. I'd love to keep talkie. But man, I mean, I'm
All our outside
excited 'cause-
linebackers go straight to the Patriots.
They
Yeah.
all go. The Patriots love
Martavius
love him.
Mingo, frickin'
We
Mac
sent
Wilson.
Mac Wilson over there.
Mac Wilson, now Sione
Collins.
Takitaki, but we had Jamie Collins who went there or was there, came here, then went back.
Yeah.
It's everybody, man.
It is. You know, I think. I don't know. I felt like he would have been a great. I mean, it depends, right? Because I would have loved to see Taki Butt in that role and kind of move him over to middle linebacker. But Jordan Hicks, it depends what we're going to get from him. And sometimes I'm not a huge fan of the huge turnover for free agency and things like that, bringing in new guys in the locker room when you have a guy that's not homegrown, but you know, you drafted him right out of BYU and he could be on your team and he was showing buds that he was going to be good. I don't like the whole turnover thing like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes the whole free agency thing splashes, they don't pan out. They don't for a new team. For any other
Well, yeah,
team.
but to be fair, I mean, we're in a weird position. You know, we have a cap we have to operate around right now. I know it's a myth.
True.
But like, are you going to pay a guy Sione Takitaki a little bit over value to keep him here, or do you go to the draft and try to draft a guy that can fit in that role as well?
Well, here's
or you go to free agency as well. I mean, who knows?
Here's a name for you guys. He's a well-known guy, but I don't think he'd be that expensive. Why did I just get a thumbs up? Wait,
Yeah, is that an
Bobby
update
Wagner?
or something from YouTube or something like that? That's it.
bro, I had balloons come on here earlier. Now a thumbs up. I must be special. YouTube must
Yeah.
think I'm special.
No, clearly. I'm saying clearly because we're getting all the emojis and stuff. Bro, not clearly. Bro, come on.
Listen to this, boys. There is now only 2 Browns defensive starters remaining from the 2020 playoff team: Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward.
Wow, that's
good though.
That's
Our
a-
defense stunk.
that. Well, truthfully, our defense was getting cooked at that point.
Yo, but
So-
who didn't like Money Mitchell? I mean, come on.
Oh, Money Mitchell was a dog.
Mitchell.
Money Mitchell was a dog.
But I mean, Andrew
Money Mitchell
Sandejo
was
was
a dog.
starting safety.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, no, they.
I want to find this contract, dude. Tell me what the contract is.
Yeah, for sure.
I
But
do.
that linebacker I was mentioning was Isaiah Simmons. He's real
Yeah,
fast.
yes.
He is really fast.
Yeah.
He is really fast.
But
Yeah.
he's with the Giants, right?
He's a free agent.
Free
agency.
agent.
I'd take a 1-year prove it deal with that because he's wasn't he like
He's
7th overall to the Cardinals or something like that?
Yeah, and
I would
he's
take
super
it.
quick. I mean, he's
The only
big. I think
issue- The only issue is I know in Clemson he played more safety than he did linebacker, which
Well,
is I
Go ahead.
think the issue.
Yeah, which I mean, you could play him at both roles though, because like we do need another safety in there. I mean, Hickman's good, but you also need depth at that. Worst comes to worst in the safety room, you got another guy that can bump in or play both. Like, and he could be a great disguise guy because you don't know where he's going to be at. He could drop down,
Here's,
play third level. Do what?
bro. It's a 2-year, $6.5 million deal worth up to $10 million with some likely to be earned incentives.
We couldn't match
Yeah.
that. He must
Yeah.
have just wanted to leave.
2-year, $5 million. I mean, essentially is what it's looking like. I bet you that.
Bro.
I bet you that was that they were not. I bet you the Browns were like, yeah, we're not spending that money on that.
This is a stupid question, but Eric says linebacker Jordan Hicks to the Browns from Minnesota, great signing. Schwartz has more tools for his toolbox. I completely agree. Give Jim Schwartz whatever he needs. I'm glad Jim Schwartz. It seems like he's not going anywhere. He's staying in Cleveland. And if you want to be able to run this back and make some tweaks, he had a full season with Cleveland now. Obviously, assistant coach of the year. He knows what he needs now to make that next level, right? I mean, to have that bad taste left in your mouth with CJ Stroud did to us in Houston. You kind of want to build off that and see what you can do. And also maybe when you get to those away games, you start to be a little bit more consistent on defense. So 100% bringing Jordan Hicks in, obviously Jim Schwartz, whatever he needs, get him what he needs for next season to rebuild. Not rebuild, but like kind of revamp that defense. Dustin Hopkins, our kicker, who we absolutely love, who probably is, for some people, the MVP of this team. Is he still under contract for the Browns, right? Or does he have does anybody know his contractual situation?
I think he was traded with term. I can double check, but I think that was part of the reason that they went and got him.
Okay, because he's still technically under contract. It looks like he's still under contract for this season. He's a UFA. Yeah. He's an unrestricted free agent next season, the 2025 season, but he's still under contract for one more season. So I just kind of answered my own question. But I don't think we talked enough about Dustin Hopkins.
Let me ask you this though: who is that guy, that linebacker? He was originally he was a Niner. Last year he played on the Titans. Al-Aziz something. I don't know how the hell you pronounce his name. You know what I'm talking about?
Who? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I can only do one thing.
There was a linebacker. It was like I think it was Aziz Al-Shair or something like that.
Yeah, he signed with the I think he went to the Texans. He went to the Texans.
Because he was a Titans play. That was kind of the guy I was wanting to go after because he reminds me a lot of Dre Greenlock, except that he's for that unfortunate celebration injury.
Apparently, hear me out. Somebody just reported, don't know how true this is, probably not reliable at all, but who knows? Says that the Browns are interested in Jameis Winston.
No, I don't think.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think it's true, but I also wouldn't hate it per se. To be completely honest with you, I think with the right amount of weapons, he still can make some moves. I think I will never forget that year he threw 30 touchdowns and 30 receptions.
Yeah, and he
had his own 30 for 30.
You know what I mean? If you love Joe Flacco, you'll love yourself some 30 for 30 Winston. All right, you'll the 30 touchdowns and your 30 interceptions. So
you're just swapping out two of the same guys at that point, except one
exactly. One has won a Super Bowl. So I'm not gonna be upset about that. But again, if you're just
what do you guys think about Kirko?
Who?
Kirko Chains' cousin.
Kirko Thuggins?
Kirko Chains.
$45 million.
That's really interesting because Atlanta must really think that they have an opportunity here, right? I mean, with Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, and with that great defense and Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell, they might think they have an opportunity to take that division, right? I mean, that's why the Bucs went out and paid.
To be fair, to be fair, they had a competent quarterback and play caller last year.
They'd be fine. Arthur Smith is in Pittsburgh now. So
let's talk about Russell Wilson.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about Russell Wilson.
Steelers country, let's weld.
Steelers country.
Yeah.
What are your boys' thoughts about? I know I have my own thoughts about Russell Wilson going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but what are your thoughts?
The Browns' luck, that move right there he'll come in and just be phenomenal. That's just the Browns' luck.
He's had his flashes. He still has old Russ in him. He's just weird. He's literally just a weird dude.
Yeah, I think my thing though is I was watching a lot of ESPN and all that stuff this morning, and the Steelers don't need him to be top 5 quarterback Russ anymore.
Yeah,
they need him to be top 10.
The season that he had last year. That's all they
right.
need.
Now that being said, he takes one of the most sacks in the league every year, which is a great thing if you're a Browns fan because we have great pass rush. So that means that that he's going to make some dumb decisions. the problem that I think I see with it is that I'm not saying that the guy is cooked, but does it make the Steelers better? Absolutely. Does it move the needle and make them go from a potential playoff team to a Super Bowl team or an AFC conference team? No. It just makes the AFC North a little bit better, and it's just going to be a little bit more competitive. I mean, people forget that secondary, the Steelers secondary was problematic. They couldn't stop the run either. They had, aside from maybe a couple games later in the season, their offensive line was awful, so they have a lot. I think that they are trying to retool because the Steelers never rebuild. They always retool. And I think they'll end up being a pretty good team, but I don't think that it like drastically makes them like favorites to win our division or like, I just think that they're now an extremely offensively competitive team now too.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't wait for the first fiasco between him and George Pickens. It's going to be hilarious.
It's going to be hysterical. That was my first thought was like, oh my God, like Russ rubs a lot of people the wrong way. And a part of it, I think, was just his little Denver, Bronco country, let's ride, and just the corny stuff that he was doing. So if he continues to do that in Pittsburgh, some of those guys are going to be like, this dude is odd.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, there's going to be a lot of interesting things. I haven't seen anything from the Steelers picking up anybody in free agency.
The AFC North's been quiet.
Other than the AFC North. I mean, obviously the Geno Stone from Baltimore to Cincinnati was one of
they
the
just
one of
signed
the things.
Malik Harrison too.
Right. I mean, a lot of signing their players, and I think like for Russell Wilson, I really feel like versus the Browns in his career, he played pretty well versus the Browns. The defense didn't travel to Denver this past season. You got to remember that Russell Wilson, I think that coach, what was it? Sean Payton didn't even really want him. Right. I mean, he went to from Jump Street. He didn't want Russell Wilson. Like, that's not his quarterback. He went to the team. He went to Denver Broncos, and that was who was there. For whatever reason, he didn't like Russell Wilson at all. So making him try to take out that injury guarantee and all this other stuff, and then paying $80 million to just say, get off my team, whatever. That's what actually concerns me, is because you played for a coach who didn't want you. And now you're going to a team for $1 million for a 1-year deal. That's like kind of a prove it kind of thing, right? And I feel like, well, you give him a better offensive line, you give him some weapons, in the wide receiver room. Not that Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton weren't weapons, but it's like, and then you give him a coach that actually wants him to be there. It's a little bit like Christian said, Russell Wilson might just be Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh, and then that's going to be the concerning part. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sean Payton did not like Russell. You have to remember that the head coach doesn't like you. The play caller doesn't like you. So it's like you're not going to be put in the best situations to do well. You know what I mean? So it's like if he can come in here and make a little magic happen for Pittsburgh, I heard it on Twitter already. It raises the floor for the Steelers.
Yeah.
And last year, we thought we saw the worst of the Steelers, and they made the playoffs. So it's like we don't know what we're going to get. Obviously, Joe Burrow was injured. Obviously, the Browns were banged up all year. So who would have known what happens if, they were both healthy? So I don't know. That's what concerns me, is just the possibility that Seattle Russ shows up in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that happens, but
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, boys, so it is free agency. We've got a little proposal for you guys. You guys can accept or deny, but we're all going to pick one free agent, and if they don't sign with the Browns, we've got a shotgun or Red Bull.
Dude,
or drink coffee with mayonnaise in it.
Okay. I'll do the Red Bull one, because the coffee with the mayonnaise sounds just nasty.
Oh man,
I'll do a Red Bull one, but the coffee, that's disgusting.
All right. So, who wants to go first picking their free agent?
I gotta go. I volunteer Blake.
Yeah, Blake, come on, let's hear it.
Because I need to. I don't want to. I'm gonna say something crazy. It's gonna
You
get me
didn't
in
give me
trouble.
any time.
Right off the dome.
Screw it. Jameis Winston.
James,
Oh.
yes! When you're first, you throw out a. You know what? It might be Jameis Winston. It might
All right.
be Jameis Winston. You
Well,
might get saved, but we'll see.
All right, I'm gonna I gotta write these down in the notes real quick. See, Dave's lucky. He's not on, so is Jake, or we'd be holding him to it. So Blake is James Winston. Okay, what about you, Manny?
I'm gonna go the safest landing I can possibly go. I'm gonna go the safest landing because I don't want coffee with mayonnaise and I don't want shotgun and a Red Bull. I'm gonna choose from the professional Noah Weiskopf. I'm gonna choose Zach Moss, and I think it's an RB2 that we need. I don't think we saw enough out of Jerome Ford. I like what I saw, but I don't think I saw enough for him to be running back two. I don't think we're gonna bring back Kareem Hunt. Zach Moss is a perfect fit. And he could be the running back one for a couple of games if Nick Chubb isn't ready to go to start the season. So I'm going to go Zach Moss. Zach Moss.
Zach?
You know, just because everybody else is doing the safe route, I'll actually, live on the edge a little bit. I'm going to go Eric Armstead.
Oh.
I think we're going to sign Eric
Armstead. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to.
I was going to say. Listen, I was going to say DJ Reader, but Noah got me worried because they said that we're interested, but we're not the favorite.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be us. And also, why go from Cincinnati to the Browns? Like, it doesn't quite line up unless the money's there. Mm-hmm. And Eric Armstead trying to test free agency, it would be interesting to see if you get like a
makes sense.
2-year deal or something like that, or a year deal or something, and just see what you can do with it. But that's who I think it'll be. If it's not that, it'll be Sheldon Rankins or something like that. But
okay, so the Jameis Winston thing was reported by Mary Kay Cabot. So my free agent, I'm gonna pick.
Come on, be risky.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna be risky.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know if it's actually a risk. I'm gonna say Jerome Baker.
He wants the shotgun a Red Bull.
He wants nothing more than a shotgun a Red Bull.
No, I mean I think that's a real
Red Bull either. So it's
I think that's a realistic.
Did you say Jerome Baker?
Yeah, Jerome Baker. Yeah, I'm ready to be a Baker bro again. Just ready for it. And he's a solid linebacker. I mean, he was a dog with Miami. I mean, all the Ohio State bucknuts love him. So I think he'd be a great fit back here in the OH. Okay. I had to finish it. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but you're not in Ohio right now. You're in Kentucky.
That's true. So you get yeah.
Well, I was trying to be one of you guys for a minute, but I see I'm not welcome.
I mean, got to be in the land.
Hey, buddy, I come up there quite a bit.
I know.
Well, I've not been up there in a minute, but yeah, I think that's a great way to end the episode. Hopefully, none of us are shotgunning any Red Bulls or drinking coffee with mayonnaise in it. But as always, you know what we say around here: Go Browns!
Go Browns, baby!
Browns, baby!